Hi everyone, let's go through my medium time frame and low time frame bullish and bearish Elliott Wave scenarios on Bitcoin, starting with the bearish scenario on the medium time frame, which becomes a bit less likely, right? So we had a 5-wave move over here, which then can be a wave 1 or a wave 5. Now that basically means that we were looking for a correction then to the downside. A wave 1, 2 before then a bigger 3 to the upside, or if this is a wave 5, you're looking for a deeper correction to the downside. To kick things off, I mentioned, well, I'm still looking for upside. I'm still looking to hit the 30k, but then in an expanded flat scenario, which is a 3, 3, and then a 5-wave move to the downside. In this scenario and also in the previous video, I did mention if price is going to push to the upside, up, this trading scenario over here is invalid. It's not validated because you want to see a nice 3-wave move to the upside and not an impulsive move to the upside. Now the most common target for this wave B is the 1.236 to the 1.38 over here, which is 29.6k to basically 30k. Price already hit the rare target for a wave B expanded flat at 30.5k basically. So yeah, this scenario at the moment is not looking too great. However, another scenario that is not looking too great, but I don't know if this is more likely at the moment, because we might have to count this differently than we have over here, like maybe a 1, 2 and then upwards. But what we look for over here at the moment is the very bullish scenario. So in this scenario, we have the yellow wave 1 from the low of 15.4k to over here to the highs at 25.3k. So that is wave 1. Then we have wave 2, and then we have another 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, which I will show you in a second. There's basically 3 reasons why I still do not like this scenario. Now, of course, it doesn't matter what I like and dislike, but from an Elliott Wave perspective, it's not a very clean setup, and therefore for me, I don't know, it doesn't feel too great, but hey, price is moving to the upside at the moment. So this wave 2, first of all, is very short in time compared to the time it took to develop wave 1. This wave 2 is only 23% of the time it took to develop wave 1, while usually a wave 2 takes at least 38% of the time of wave 1. Then second, this wave 2 over here, and then this being a 1-2, missed out on hitting the rare target for wave 2, which is the 382. So that is actually incredibly rare. And then we have another potential 1-2 over here, where wave 2 only hit the rare target, which then is the 382. So those are 3 rare occasions in one potential scenario, which therefore means that for me this scenario still does not feel good. However, if we do look at least to what is potentially happening in this scenario, we have then this blue 1-2 followed then by the white 1-2 over here, and now we're looking for upside, right, where the minimum target for wave 3 in white in this 1-2 and then 3 to the upside is 31.8k. That is the minimum target for this wave 3. However, if you're looking at this as a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 G, and you look for upside, then of course the targets for basically this massive by now wave 3 to the upside should be incredibly high. If we look at the volume, yeah, I mean, we do get volume spikes here at the moment. Compared to wave 1 over here, things are still down. You can see that even though we're making higher highs, volume in general still making it like lower highs. So it's not looking too great per se. Now, I've also had a question like, hey, can this maybe be an ending diagonal, right? So this then being an A or a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, of course, but we need more price action for that, because an ending diagonal can only be like closely confirmed once this wave 4 is going to be in. That's when things become a bit more clear for potentially an ending diagonal. But as it stands now, an ending diagonal, I'm not looking at an ending diagonal. If this is then a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then maybe a diagonal in 5, we have to wait and see. First of all, this cannot be a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, and all of this being part of a diagonal. That's not possible, because that, like, Elliott Waves is also about how the waves are basically looking, are they looking good or bad towards one another, and now wave 5 would be just way too big compared to these wave 1, 2, 3, and 4. So yeah, the only potential ending diagonal one could have is then this being a 1, 2, 3, 4, and now in a diagonal 5th, which then is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we have to wait and see what happens, of course, from now. If we then go to the lower time frames, we have this bullish scenario over here, a bit zoomed in, where this is then a wave 1, 2, 1, 2, looking for upside in a bigger wave 3. Now the long setups over here are actually the same as in the bearish scenario, where in this wave 1, this is a WXY, or Y bouncing perfectly in the target area for wave Y, for then a wave Y, for then a move to the upside. And over here we then had a wave 1 in this scenario. This is then wave 2 for 3 to the upside, where also the buys with the divergences we had, because there were big bullish divergences, as you can see over here, higher lows on price but lower lows on the CVD, which is a bullish divergence that by now played out because we took all the highs, so the divergences have played out. But basically here we're looking for this 1 2 1 2 and then a move to the upside. Now in the video, I think 4 videos ago or 3 updates ago, we were looking at this structure over here and we were saying, hey, this can either be a wave 1, a wave A, or a wave C. And I said at that moment in time, wave 1 is like the second potential over here, but I would prefer this to be a wave A and then a 1 and then potentially a C. But preference would be an A, like an A, B, C, for then eventually more downside. And that is basically has to do with this over here. So this now is a 1 2 3 because of course looking at how high and extended it is, it went to the 3 extension. This has to be a wave 1 2 and then a 3 to the upside. But knowing now that this is a wave 1 basically means, and this is an impulse, basically means that this has to be an impulsive structure as well. And if we zoom in to that structure, it's not as clear that this is an impulse. So let me explain to you why this is very important. We have to go to the 5-minute time frame to know what is happening on the 1 hour basically. So what you see over here is then a 1 2 3 4 5, but this is very important. Wave 3 is not allowed to be the shortest wave in an impulse. And you can see that wave 1, the pivot I chose for wave 1 is right on top of this high, not this one over here. Because what happens if I put wave 1 on this high and then I put the extension on this high as well, you can see that now wave 3 is shorter than wave 1. So we then have wave 1 2 3, but wave 3 is shorter in price compared to wave 1, and also wave 3 is shorter than 5 in this scenario. So this is something that is incorrect from an impulsive standpoint. So therefore wave 1 has to be on this high over here, and you can count 1 2 3 4 5 waves in this very, very low time frame wave 1, with then a corrective structure in wave 2, and then you have a wave 3 to the upside. So this is the only way to count this structure over here as an impulse. So the purple count on the very, very low time frame, the 5-minute time frame, this is very important for what is happening right now on the chart. Also, the wave 2s bounced both of them on the golden pocket. So this being a 1 2 bouncing on the golden pocket, the most common target area for wave 2, and also this potential 1 2 bouncing on the golden pocket. So that is actually pretty nice. And if we then go to the bearish scenario, then we were looking for this to be potentially be an expanding flat. So an A, I need there we go, A, B, and then a wave C to the downside. Now in this particular scenario, the long setup over here was very nice, looking for this wave B as the target. And also over here we then had a W, X, and then a Y to the upside in a 3-wave move for potentially this wave B, where also here the long setup was basically for wave X, laddering the longs in here, stop loss above and to the downside. Now of course it hit the target, actually went through the target of a wave B very clearly, which also makes it less likely. And again, as mentioned in my previous video, and I also think I wrote it in the comment section, if price is just gonna push, this trading scenario over here, this short, is simply not valid. It's not valid. You want to see a better clear 3-wave structure, and this is an impulsive structure also on higher volume over here, high volume to the upside. So this scenario over here is then of course not valid from an Elliott Wave standpoint, and that also makes this scenario a lot less likely at the moment. If we at least go to the daily time frame and have a little bit of a look to what might be interesting levels over here, then the first potential area also to look for is about the 32k area, and the reason for that is also the highs that we have for a little bit of liquidity. So if price is going to move to the upside, these highs are going to be quite interesting. And it's also a little bit of a support resistance area, as here price found support, then it found resistance. And yeah, so these highs for liquidity are also in sync with a potential support resistance area. So this is the first structure to the upside, or the first area of interest that I would be looking for if price is going to continue pushing. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. I hope it was helpful or valuable to you. Again, thanks for watching and subscribing, and see you at the next one. Bye bye.